My name is Daniel Ortiz.
My name is Ross Miho, and we are joined here with a band member.
I am Neil McCalmont. I am one of two drummers in the Sounds of Jefferson.
Sweet.
Nice.
So, Sounds Jefferson, that sounds pretty new around here. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So I guess in like the 70s and 80s, there was a really big band program in Jefferson. Kind of like what the dancers are now. That's what the band was like. Like they'd go on tour, they'd go to Europe and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And I guess in the 90s, they just cut funding, and the band was the first to go. So right now, we're just starting to bring it back. You know, Mr. Allen and Mr. Pettiford have put a lot of effort into bringing it back, and we've got some teachers and stuff. So it's a slow process, but right now we have a good amount of people in the band.
Nice. So you said Mr. Allen and Mr. Pettiford. So they were the ones who took the initiative to get people to start joining, or were there students who wanted to start a band and they went to Mr. Allen and Mr. Pettiford?
I think it was just them that started it. I don't know. You could maybe get Mr. Allen and Mr. Pettiford on the show or something to talk about it.
Just for clarification, Mr. Allen's our vice principal at our school, and Mr. Pettiford's our resident security guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, great people.
So it's been since the 90s that we haven't had a program.
Yeah, at least 20 years we haven't had a band program, which is a shame because, you know, school band is awesome.
So how does it feel to start that up again and be part of the first year it's been around?
It feels great. You know, we've made a lot of good progress bringing it back, and it feels kind of historic. You know, we're the first band in 20 years. That's crazy.
Do you ever, like at shows and stuff like that, have you guys had shows, first of all?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys already had performances?
We've had a few. We had one at lunch. We had another at the Cherry Sprout, and also one at the talent show. So that's a decent amount of shows for how long we've been together, you know.
Yeah, so at these performances, have you guys, or have you come into contact with anybody who's been in the band in the past?
Not really. I mean, Mr. Pettiford, he was in the band.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he played trumpet. So I've come in contact with him, and besides that, I haven't really talked to anybody. There's Jim Little, who was the music teacher here for a while. He's come in and like looked over some practices. But besides that, I haven't really talked to anyone else that was in the band.
Okay.
So I have this question. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
What has been why is the band here this year? I mean, you're a junior, so, and I'm assuming I know some of the other students are juniors and sophomores, but what has been different this year that has given us a band that's different from years past?
You know, I'm not sure. My guess is that it's just sort of Jefferson has more of a positive light in the media, which means that we can get more privileges that other schools would have. You know, there's a lot of articles recently, sort of talking about how graduation rates have gone up. That's what I'd guess.
So like maybe the people see Jefferson as a nicer school and they want to be part of it more.
Yeah, and I mean we can get the band program back. I don't know.
Cool.
So with the Sounds of Jefferson, what type of music do you guys play in the band?
We play like, you know, funk and soul and like pop stuff. The Jim Little and Charles DeMonin, who run the Sounds of Jefferson, like they set out not to do like orchestra or jazz band. They wanted to do something, you know, a little more fun, a little more accessible. And I'm actually glad for that, because that's one of the things that like kept me away from like school bands. Like I wanted to be in my own bands because I was like, oh, you know, I don't want to do classical music. That's boring. And it's a good way for it to be more accessible to other students. And also, since the songs aren't that hard to learn, anyone can join the band no matter what musical training. You know, Harrison and Miko they're our sax player and our trumpet player, and they knew nothing before they started, and now they're great musicians.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a good way to sort of, you can come into the band without any experience, really.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome because I think a lot of the time what students are discouraged by when they hear the word band is that they have to do orchestra or they have to do some other array of musical instruments. But I think it's really nice because I've heard you guys perform, and you guys aren't playing boring songs.
Yeah.
You guys have a singer. You have somebody who's playing the piano. Like, it's something that people can really get into, and it's something that's fun to watch. And I can only imagine that it's fun to be a part of.
It's really fun to play those songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, like when somebody wants to think about joining a band, they feel like, oh, I can't do it because I don't even know how to play this and this. But it seems like, from at least Harrison and Miko's perspective, they were able to learn from scratch.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, they just picked up their instruments and learned some basic rudiments and played with the band. And, you know, with that practice, you know, they become good. And that's another thing. Like, when I joined the band, like, I didn't really have any formal training. Like, I could play some beats, but I wasn't a great drummer. But I mean, I don't know, just playing with people constantly, it really, I can see the improvement in my drumming. Yeah, so it's been great.
Have you been doing a lot of drumming before?
A little bit. You know, I was in a band, like a punk rock band with my friends.
What was it called?
Elephants of Vietnam.
Ooh, nice. That's a solid name. It's a very, very solid name.
But that wasn't really like, you know, I mean, we took it seriously, but like, it wasn't, you know, very technical stuff. So that's why I was kind of nervous joining the Sounds of Jefferson band, because I didn't really have a lot of a background in music theory or anything. But I think it's a good way with the pop music. It's a good way to sort of it's a good way to learn some musical theory and stuff from my perspective, because I didn't have any prior training, you know.
Yeah.
So, a part of the Sounds of Jefferson, do you guys have any upcoming events or any chances for people or viewers to come and watch you guys or be a part of the Jefferson band?
Yeah, not any real concrete events right now. We are planning on playing out on the front steps by the Thomas Jefferson statue one of these days, and we're planning on playing at lunch some more. We did have a performance last Friday at lunch and after school with the Drumline, which we're trying to start up. And we're actually having auditions for that on Friday after school, if anyone is interested in drumming.
Does anybody have to have any experience with drumming, or does anybody come,
No.
anybody learn?
Anyone can come, you know, if you can just do that, you know, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Drumline's been fun. You know, that's one of the things where I just showed up because Charles was like, hey, show up if you want to join the Drumline. And I was like, okay, I got nothing better to do. And I was like, Drumline, you know, it's not really my thing. But then I joined, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
So could you mentioned name Charles. Could you? Who is Charles?
Charles, he is the sort of band instructor that's come. He's in a lot of bands in Eugene. He goes to U of O.
So he currently lives in Eugene.
He currently lives in Eugene. He comes here every week. He drives like 2 or 3 hours to come here.
Wow.
And yeah, it's amazing. I have nothing but respect for him coming here. And he has energy, you know, when he comes here. He obviously really wants to be here and teaching music, and he obviously really likes music.
Wow, so he's a student at U of O, and when he's not studying, he's driving 3 hours to teach you guys how to play some instruments.
Yeah, when he's not studying or playing in bands, because he's in like I think he's in a few bands just for fun, and he's also in like the school band. He's in like trombone. I think he plays trombone quartets and stuff. So
Wow.
like he's
Dedicated.
dedicated.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's
That's
the right
awesome.
word. Yeah, yeah, he's a great guy. So
Yeah. What do you think has been the main reason for why he's chosen Jefferson?
I don't know. I think he knew Jim Little beforehand, who he was the teacher here in the 70s. And he owns the whole like heat wave thing that the Sounds of Jefferson is under. But I don't know. That actually, if he's here one time when you're doing one of these episodes, you should get him on because he'd be a good guy to talk to.
Yeah. Be a good question to ask him. Why Jefferson?
Yeah, why Jefferson?
Why 2 hours a day?
Yeah, jeez. I mean, I can't imagine. I personally, I would probably call in sick or something, just so that I didn't have to drive all that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
it's like nonstop driving. You can't just be on a bus and just wait there. I mean, you could, but it'll take you a lot longer.
Yeah, and, you know, he cares, and he's young too. He's like
It's got that energy. Too.
early 20s, you know.
Yeah.
So how long are the practices for Sounds of Jefferson and for Drumline?
Yeah, the practices are generally like from 4 to 6, but sometimes they go longer, sometimes they go shorter. You know, it all really depends on how fast we can get our set done. And usually we just go down there, you know, as soon as school gets out, because we just like to play beforehand.
Yeah.
So.
Can you tell us more about the interactions you have with, or anybody in the band has with each other? Like, is it
Yeah.
generally you guys do your own thing, or?
Not really. Generally, we play together. Sometimes, like, you know, we move our instruments out onto the stage, you know, so that we can sort of practice by ourselves. But yeah, generally we sort of like jam together, which is good. Good to sort of make the band cohesive.
Yeah. What do you think is the best or the most important thing to have in a band to make it cohesive?
The most important thing? Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, do you guys need to know each other pretty well and know each other's strengths and weaknesses, or do you guys need to?
Yeah, I'd say that sort of. Know each other's weaknesses, like, and sort of be able to follow each other, because like, all of it really depends on, you know, following people. Like the drums follow the bass, you know, the horns follow the bass and drums. You know, it's something where if one person's off, it can just mess with the whole system. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So if someone were to want to join Sounds of Jefferson, you've already talked a little bit about the drum line, but where could these people go in order to find out more information or to even just come by and listen?
That would be in the band room behind the auditorium. So like you go up on the stage and you go to the right and there's some doors and you go through the doors and then there's the band room. And yeah, anyone that you know, knows an instrument or doesn't know an instrument but has an instrument they really want to learn they should come after school on Thursdays and Fridays to the band. And if you don't like it, it's not for you, that's fine. Just but try it out, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. Sure. I remember seeing on a couple posters in the halls that there were some positions specifically.
Yeah. We need a guitarist. That's what we're looking for specifically. I mean, we don't need a guitarist. You know, we sound good without it. But you know, just that's even more sounds that we could add to the band. And you know, guitar sounds cool. You know. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Is there anything else about your experience in band do you want to share?
Just that it's been really good. It's been really fun joining this. I didn't think at the start of the year that I would be in the school band. I didn't really have any particular interest in it. but this year it's just become such a really key part of my life. You know, it's something that I look forward to every week, and it's really sort of. I still don't think I want to focus on music as a profession, but like gaining experience, playing more shows, you know, becoming better as a drummer. It's really made me want to, you know, focus more on music. And it's also I'm trying to start another band with my friend that doesn't go here, and Finn, the bassist in Sounds of Jefferson, and that's more like rock stuff.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that the experience, like the skills I've learned through the Sounds of Jefferson, it's helped with that rock stuff. You know.
Yeah.
I can sort of. I don't know. I can sort of transfer the skills over to other genres of music, which is great.
That's awesome.
That's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
Like you learn in one genre and you can go in others if you know how to handle
and
an
it
instrument.
it helps a lot with the basics, sort of, because
Cool. What are your hopes for like next year or the end of this year?
Oh, next year, there are a lot of plans, actually. I talked with Miss Hargrave about it, and I guess they're trying to find a full-time music teacher at Jeff that'll teach, sort of like how the dance teachers do here, like they'll teach different levels of music. So I hope that becomes a reality next year.
Yeah.
That would be great. Or even the year after that. But I hope it's next year, because then I'll be a senior and I can take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jim Little, he talked to people at PCC, and I guess he's trying to get members of the band to dual credit.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So that'll be great. I can just play music and get college credit.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, and just, I mean, we're trying to get the drum line started so we can play at games and stuff. You know, we're trying to get the band going. Hopefully by next year there'll be, you know, at least 20 people, and we can have like an actual like big ensemble. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope it grows. I hope it continues to grow, and I hope that this isn't like a little growth and then it all just goes downhill.
Yeah, it takes dedicated.
Because I mean, yeah, that can happen, you know, if people aren't really dedicated. But all the members of the band so far have been really good and are good about showing up to practice, and you know, yeah.
Now it's up to you guys to recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So join the band.
Join the band.
For sure.
All right. Well, we're about to wrap up.
Yep.
It was nice to have you here, Neil.
Yeah, thanks for coming
thanks,
on.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
It's been fun.
Yeah. I'm Daniel.
My name's Ross.
I'm Neil.
This was our show.